They made it again. They're having a private conversation because this is the best place to do that. That's why. Nothing, that was a private thing between us. I guess we should go. Ladies and gentlemen, Misha Collins, everybody. Bye. Oh, you gotta stay.
I love this. I love you, I love you, I love you. You rock! The last one you sounded like you were falling off a cliff. Like, oh!
Behave yourselves. Thank you for asking that question. How am I doing? I'm okay. Thank you. I've been exposed to a lot of social media stuff this weekend, and I don't know if I'm young enough to handle it. So there's some weird. So those of you who are under, say, 28. Shame on you. And your weird fucking internet stuff that you do. Do you realize that there are armies of young people who sit at these tiny little IKEA desks in their bedrooms in their parents' homes and just stream totally inane video of themselves all day long? And they're worse still than what I've told you just now is that there are thousands of people watching them. How is this happening? Can we all right now solemnly swear never to go on the internet again? Can we do that? I think we have consensus. It is a strange and insidious force, I tell you. Well, it's lovely to be here in Phoenix. How many of you are Phoenixians? And a lot of you are from elsewhere. Which one of you is from the furthest away? Germany, South Africa? Is that really true, or are you just saying that to win a contest? Ah, I see, you're pointing to your back.
See? I have that telltale South African back.
Australia? Yeah, but are you here just for the convention?
Okay, that's weird. Wasn't expecting that answer.
I met in Vancouver a few years ago a pair of twins who I believe were late 40s, early 50s, who had never been out of South Africa before and had come to Vancouver for the convention for their first trip outside of the country. Put that on your back. Well, okay. Are you aware that there was a convention in Sydney and Melbourne last weekend? I probably shouldn't be telling you that. It's a lovely country. Your country is lovely. They did not have Loud and Swaying there. I know, it was so nice. Oh no, I didn't say that. Delete that portion of your live stream, everyone. I love Loud and Swaying and Rob Benedict. Isn't he an amazing God? Isn't Rob Benedict what you always, when in church, kneeling at your pew, imagined God would look like? Doesn't he have that same weighty, wise, distinguished quality that you always expected. He's also bearded, kind of like typical depictions of God. Anyway. Okay. What is your name, young woman, in the front row? What's your name? You don't want to talk about it? Tiara. Kiera. How old are you, Kiera? 6. I couldn't help but notice earlier today in the photo op that you have recently lost your front teeth. Is that true? Did you have any kind of encounter with a tooth-stealing fairy of any kind? Did you? Tooth fairy? Did a tooth fairy come for your teeth?
Yes.
What did you get? I'm just kind of curious what the going rate is these days.
$5.
$5? Wow. So teeth really go for a premium these days, huh? Either that or the tooth fairy is loaded. Have you spent your $5 yet?
No.
Do you have plans to? Are you saving it for college? No? Do you want me to leave you alone? Did you answer? I'm gonna leave you alone, okay? The mom said that Kiara liked me. Is that true? Now I'm just fishing for compliments right in your face. That is not cool. That's a very cool kazoo that you have there. That's a loud and swaying kazoo. All right, it was very nice talking to you. I'm glad that the tooth fairy treated you so well. You know, I think I only got like 5 cents for my teeth. So that must mean that you have really nice teeth if you got $5. Good for you. Either that or your parents have something on the tooth fairy, which is also possible. All right. Okay. Do you have a question over there?
I do.
What is it?
Well, I first got to see you in Seattle at the convention up there.
Lovely to see you again.
Good to see you too.
How have you been?
I've been fabulous. but
You've
I
gotten
could
some
really-
sun.
I could really use a hug. Just
You
saying.
could use a hug?
Could.
Sir, give that woman a hug right now.
I'm hoping for an angel hug, but that'll do.
So, what have you been, what is your question? What do you want to talk
I
about?
was wondering if you're going to sell Girl Scout cookies this time.
Wait, what?
I was wondering if you were going to sell Girl Scout cookies this time in your panel, like
Girl
you did-
Scout cookies in my panel. Am I going to sell them?
like you did in Seattle.
No, I'm not, because Girl Scout cookies cannot be acquired this time of year, right?
Right.
You have them? Are you hoarding Girl Scout cookies? Are they counterfeit Girl Scout cookies? Oh, you're a troop manager. Mm-hmm. Yeah, i.e. child exploitation expert. Shame on you. I like the idea of Girl Scout troop managers being shamed for taking such advantage of children to sell cookies. Speaking of children, this got passed on to me, so I don't know who it came from, but a young woman, who was responsible for this? I won't even, her. I'm not sure who's getting pointed at, but her. Thank you. Gave me pizza money? Hold on, I have to read this letter. That person gave me pizza money? Multiple people are claiming to have given. This is not the handwriting of somebody who's like in their 30s. Katie? Honeycutt? Is that a real name? Oh, it really is you in the front row. Hi, Katie Honeycutt. How old are you? Not 30s. Okay. Okay. Pizza money. This is fantastic. Thank you. Pizza's really expensive, huh? 25 bucks for a pizza? Shit. Okay. Okay. Hold on. We'll order some pizza. Does anybody, could somebody Google somebody in the front row? Thanks. Just to find a nice pizza place nearby. She recommended in her letter Domino's, but I don't know if there's Papa John's people are recommending. Tell them we'll pay cash on this one. Okay. Oh, you're already on the horn with them? Okay. Okay, do you have a question while we're on hold?
Hi. In all of your travels, where's your favorite place that you've ever been, and why?
Wait, hold on. I've forgotten the password for my online pizza account. Maybe that's the wrong number, I'm not sure. Okay, go ahead.
In all of your travels, where is your favorite place that you've been and why?
Where's the worst place I've been?
Your favorite place.
Oh, where's my favorite place that I've been and why? That's a fantastic question. I just told the story about the worst place. I think it was last weekend at a convention. I told the story about the worst in Australia. It wasn't. The answer wasn't Australia. Just to be clear. At one point, I did go on a tirade against, in an American panel, against the people of Australia, because I just thought it was funny. It was a funny little riff, I thought. It was funny to us Americans, but Australia took great offense at it to the extent that the convention managers in Australia called me and asked me to apologize to Australia. There's a human, you think? Hello? Hi. Am I on hold? Okay. I would like to order a pizza, please. My phone's breaking up? I know, this is a shitty phone. Sorry, I've been meaning to get it fixed.
For delivery or carry-out?
Let's do, how about delivery?
Can I have your address?
Yeah, the Renaissance Glendale Hotel in the big room. The ballroom. To the stage in the ballroom, please. And we would like a, What do you want? Well, what do you like? How about a Hawaiian pizza? And do you make like extra large pizzas, or? Are you there?
Can I please have your first name?
My first name? Jeremy. Okay. Yeah, whatever the biggest pizza you have. In fact, maybe we'll take a couple of your biggest pizzas.
An extra large?
2 extra larges? 3 extra larges? All right, let's do 10 extra large pizzas. So, but make half of them Hawaiian and half of them just plain cheese, because there's about 300 vegetarians here. And approximately how long does that take? It would be really great if we could get it in the next, 30 minutes. But whatever is good. I don't want to rush you.
I'm sorry, how many pizzas did you want?
10, please. 5 cheese pizzas and 5 Hawaiian pizzas.
I can't
And
hear
1 gluten-free cheese pizza. Are you having a hard time hearing me? I know, there's a lot of weird feedback in here. Are we here? Here, I'm gonna hand you off to my sister. She's gonna finish this. Yeah, I got 1 gluten-free. No, you're on still. You're on. Don't ignore them. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on there.
It's fine.
I don't know whose idea that was. She was like, "What is happening?" I know I'm being pranked, but I've been told not to hang up on customers. Okay, so best place. Interesting question. I've been to a lot of places that I really loved. I love the city of Rome. I love the city of London. I have to say Phoenix is my first choice, though. Hands down, Phoenix. I really do like the Pacific Northwest, where we shoot this little show called Supernatural. It has grown on me a great deal. My family is living there in Washington State now, and I love it there. There's a little cluster of islands called the San Juan Islands that are off the Washington coast that are kind of magical. I went on a kayaking trip. My wife and I decided that we were going to go on one last. Excuse me, I'm talking to you. Don't turn around when I'm talking.
Sorry.
No, you ask a question. And so we decided we were going to do. We made this very, very rash decision. After being together for approximately 20 years, we decided to have kids. And we decided that this would be our last sort of fun, easygoing adventure, kid-free, carefree adventure before having kids. So we went to a little island chain called Palau in Micronesia, which was truly amazing. We went on this little kayaking trip, and basically we just rented this sea kayak, and we went from island to island, basically on our own, drifting along in the Pacific Ocean. And every night we camped on a different island, and they were all uninhabited. We were the only one. It was spectacular beauty. These amazing, 300-pound groupers, and these iridescent giant clams right underwater. And I had this rudimentary spearfishing gun that was made from an old inner tube and a piece of rebar, and we were actually catching our dinner with this spearfishing thing and snorkeling, and it was really amazing. Stingrays, mantas, Japanese zeros that were still just 10 feet underwater, from 60 years ago. And the islands were all these just tiny little islands that we would camp on. It was really amazing. Their islands were absolutely crawling with rats, which was the only downside. But it was really cool, and it has sort of a fond place in my heart because it was also where my son was conceived. And I don't know exactly how all that stuff works, but yeah. And then yeah. I'm not gonna tell you all the details, but I actually do know a little more than I'm letting on about exactly how that works. Yes, I did. By the way, there's a little tip for the fellas in the audience. If you're ever with a woman and you want to win her over, you can tell her, I learned this in a porno. And they love that. They love it. It's a great way to break the ice. But let's not go there because there are children who just lost their teeth in this audience. So we'll move on. Hi.
Thank you.
Hi. In the wake of that, I have a very deep and philosophical question for you. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am definitely ready.
If Kim Kardashian and Kanye West were both drowning, and you only had enough time to save one, what kind of sandwich would you make?
That's a great question. Probably something something not too heavy, something kind of light and fresh, maybe like a Mediterranean kind of hummus, sprout tomato with a little bit of feta cheese and maybe some broken up Kalamata olives on it, toasted, delicious, something just like, lively and fresh and something celebratory. So I'm actually relatively new to even following anyone on Twitter. There's such weird feedback up here. Are you guys hearing like an echo? Because I'm having a hard time hearing people's questions. I'll just mess with the levels on everything here. I'm sure nobody will mind. So I've been following, out of morbid curiosity, which I guess is what those guys have built an empire on, following Kanye West on Twitter. And the guy really has some insightful things to say. He's really, really sharp and really on it. So yeah, nothing critical to say here about those fine people. Hi.
Hi. I was wondering how you got involved with Random Acts of Kindness.
How did I get involved with Random Acts? Well, I was looking for, I was at a point in my life where I was looking for a charity that I wanted to get involved with kind of seriously, rather than just dabbling with like occasional little volunteering things here and there. And I had just got on to this show called Supernatural, and I found that this show had this strange, bizarre thing called a fandom affiliated with it. And I also noticed that those fans were really, really creative. Like they were making all this artwork and spending all this time writing these very PG-13 works of fiction, and that they were like kind of pouring their hearts into this community. And then there was an earthquake in Haiti, and I very quickly put up a donate to this UNICEF page for the relief from the earthquake, and tweeted about it. And I think at the time I don't know, I might have had a few tens of thousands of Twitter followers, like a small fraction of what I have now, and there was so much. How'd the pizza order go? They're gonna be 35 minutes? Good for them. They must have a shitload of ovens in this place. $180? Fuck, that's steep. Well, I don't know if we're gonna have the money when they get here. So I there was like, within a day, there was a flood of money that came into that to that UNICEF page, and it made me realize, oh my God, there's really something here. So it was a combination of seeing all of the creative potential of the fandom and my wanting, like being actively on the lookout for something, and just seeing how charitably inclined the fandom seemed to be. All of those ingredients came together to make me start Random Acts with some fans, and it was kind of remarkable the way it came together. And then over time, it's evolved and kind of defined itself more clearly, and become like there's an amazing team of volunteers that now work on Random Acts. Random Acts is still all volunteer run, but it's very professionally run, which is amazing because it's also affiliated with me. But they really are, you know, very international and really well organized, and really active on social media, and with a big core of volunteers that do stuff. I kind of honed in on the notion of Random Acts itself, of the idea that a small, basically the idea for Random Acts is to encourage people to commit small acts of kindness, because I think that there's a ripple effect from those. I think that small act of kindness can actually be amplified by the people around you and can turn into a ripple, can become a wave, and it can actually make a big difference. I cite a few examples from my early childhood where our family didn't have any money to speak of. Like actually, no money is the amount that we had at times. And one Christmas, a mother who was the mother of a kid in my first grade class gave my mother $100 to buy our family, so that my mother could buy me and my brother Christmas presents that year, which, by the way, was like an obscene amount of money to spend on Christmas. Like, it was lavish. We had so much shit we didn't know what to do with it. But that for her it didn't break the bank. It wasn't a huge deal for her, but it meant the world to us. And I now am still talking about that many decades later. And so that one act in some ways may have helped precipitate me starting Random Acts. And so I think that's a great example of like one small thing that you do. Every small thing that you do, I think, can ultimately potentially have an impact that you can't even quantify. So I like the idea of trying to encourage people, and not in a heavy-handed way, but just trying to find ways to encourage people to, you know, kind of see the world in that light as well. And yeah, I could go on and on, but I will. And the other thing that I think that we are trying to convey at Random Acts is that it can be fun to do good things. Like, it doesn't have to be a chore, and that's part of what we do with Gishwiz too, is like creating a game that is just, it's like really fucking fun. It's really fun, and people have a great time. And this woman is carrying a flag right now. I don't know what it proves, but she's carrying a flag of Gishwiz. And you know, and we can play that game, and we can do good things at the same time, and not have to feel like we're having the joy sucked out of us by the act of doing something nice for somebody else. And now I'm moving on. Hi.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. My question is, the cast is a bunch of pranksters. What was your by far favorite prank to pull?
The favorite prank that I have pulled?
Yes, on anyone.
On anyone?
Anyone on the cast.
Yeah, anyone on the cast. Oh, because I thought there was a broad, you were painting with a broader brush there. My favorite prank that I've ever pulled, I'm going to rewrite your question. I pulled a prank on I lost a bet to Jared because he's a monster. And it was the biggest bet that I have ever in my life lost by probably a factor of 10. Like, I'm not a gambling man, and somehow I thought, like, when I went into this bet, I thought, worst case scenario, I might lose $80 or something. And it ended up being, like, I don't know what it was. It was something, it was well over $1,000. Like, the way we structured our deal
was not favorable to the loser, especially if the loser lost by as much as I did. And I lost by a lot. It sucked. And so anyway, I paid him back, but in pennies and nickels and dimes, which took me like 2 weeks to acquire. Like no bank had enough in store for me, but I dumped it all in his trailer, and that was really satisfying. Because his victory actually ended up causing him more trouble than it was worth. But another prank that I pulled some good pranks outside of the cast of Supernatural. One time, I got really sick when I was traveling abroad back in 1995, and I had to come home. It was kind of like, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I have to come home and seek medical attention. And I actually ended up being sick for like 6 months, and it was really like I was down for the count. But I didn't want to waste the opportunity, so I called my mom from a phone booth in Paris, and I was like, Mom, most amazing thing happened on the trip. She's like, what's going on? I was like, I just met up with the photographers at National Geographic, and we went out and had some drinks, and we just hit it off. They've taught me how to scuba dive in a swimming pool here, and now we're going to find a lost wreck of a Grecian shipping fleet off the Isle of Lesbos. And so anyway, I'm gonna be kind of out of touch for a while because I'm gonna be deep diving and these shipwrecks off the Isle of Lesbos. And she was like, oh my God, that's so amazing, it's so amazing. Meanwhile, I was just about to board a plane and come home. And so I got home and I called my best friend. My best friend came, picked me up, and we drove back to my mom's house. And along the way, we stopped at another payphone, and he called and said, hey, can I borrow some stuff? He was a teacher at the time. Can I borrow some juggling stuff? Because my brother had juggling stuff. We're gonna do some juggling stuff in my school. And she said, yeah, sure, come by. So we went by, and he started chatting with her. And then he went into the kitchen where he met me, and we changed clothes. So I put on all of his clothes. And then he had this like dorky like voice that he did, like he's kind of talk like this sometimes as a joke. And so I started talking like that. My mom saw me from a distance across the living room talking like that, and then she walked into the kitchen, she saw my friend, and her brain just broke. Because she just thought, how are there two Dariuses in my house? Like, the notion that I could be one of those two people was impossible to process, because she knew full well I was underwater off the Isle of Lesbos. And the look on her face, like she did, you've heard of the double take? Like she did it 10 times. She just couldn't process. There was actually a moment when she was looking back and forth that I thought it might kill her. You just saw like this look of utter pain and confusion going on in her brain. Another time on April Fools, I got up early and I just took everything of any value out of the house and put it in the garage, and then tipped all the furniture over, and then went up just so full of joy in my heart to wait for my mom to wake up, and we've been robbed! It was so satisfying. Anyway, I mean, honestly, in all fairness, my childhood was very difficult on my mother. There was a lot of that kind of stuff. Hi.
Hello. So, you've actually been a big inspiration to me, but not in the usual way. You've been a big inspiration to me in terms of getting my act together fitness-wise. Yeah, whenever I see
That's
pictures...
ironic.
I mean, sometimes you'll post pictures of yourselves running, and
Yeah.
honestly,
That's like me getting up off the couch and you're like, oh. All right.
I've lost 15 pounds since the beginning of this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
I only got about 100 more to go. So, but I just wanted to know what kind of tips and inspiration do you have for somebody like me who's just starting to get into getting themselves fit? Take your time. Take your time.
This
You're
is
right.
really ironic that you're saying this, because I was just earlier this afternoon thinking, oh my God, I'm so out of shape. I have got to get my shit together.
And then Gary, who runs creation here, Gary and Adam do, and both of those guys have like gotten really in shape. And I was thinking, I got to talk to them and figure out how they get in such good shape, because I've let myself go. But anyway, my fitness tip would be to talk to Gary and Adam. And in the 7 years I've been doing these shows, they've gotten in very good shape, so they're doing something right. But also, this I can say, Cheetos seem to work great. So pack the Cheetos in for sure. Yep. And there's pizza coming, so we are good. We're definitely good.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. We got this. You're excited about the pizza, aren't you?
We know you've done a lot of charity work through Random Acts and Gish Wishes and all the amazing other stuff that you do. Is there any other type of charity work that you would like to do if you get the opportunity?
That's a good question. Yes. There was this guy when I was a paper boy, like I was 9 or 10 or something like that, and I was delivering papers, and one of the houses that I delivered to was the home of Mr. Higas, who was this guy who ran the radio station in my hometown when I was a kid. And he was retired, and I met him delivering papers to his home, and he kind of was curious and inquired. Me and my brother showed up one day to collect money because he had been late paying, and I did not tolerate that kind of stuff. And he started asking us questions, and he found out that we were living with a single mom, and he kind of took us under his wing, and he became a sort of surrogate father figure, grandfather figure to us, and he opened up his garage shop. It turns out that back 40 years prior, he had run this sort of like, almost like a Boy Scouts kind of thing, but it wasn't Boy Scouts, out of his garage, where he would like teach the kids how to use electric motors and things like that. And he had stopped doing it because it had been too much work and he was too busy, but he started it up again for me and my brother. And so we would love going over to Mr. Higas' shop and learning about circuits and you know, Chinese characters and stuff like that. And he would take us out to eat at like the nicest restaurants in town, which were like Denny's. Which for us was like, we never had that kind of treatment. It was really, you know, luxurious for us. And I think about that a lot. I would like to do that for some kids. I think that would be awesome to do. But I don't make enough time at this point in my life. I think it might be nice for my kids to be just a tiny bit older, because it's like, I should probably, I'd love to get to know them. They seem like good people. So, yeah. Hi.
Hi. My best friend Ashley would
Yo, Ashley. Yo, dog.
would like to know, heaven forbid, if something happened to the Pitmobile, what Cass would drive.
If something happened to the Pitmobile, what would Cass drive? Are you the woman I was talking to earlier about the Pitmobile? That's you. If something happened to the Pitmobile, I would just find this woman who has just recently acquired an exact replica of the Pitmobile, and I would use it. How did you find your Pitmobile? The internet. So the internet is not all evil, in spite of what I said earlier. And you think there are not a lot of them around on the internet?
Well, there's only 5,000 Diamond Jubilee editions made at all. Half of blue and half of Walmart gold.
So there's only 2,500 of those Diamond Jubilee. Is that what the Pitmobile is called? The proper nomenclature is Diamond Jubilee. Just FYI, it makes you sound kind of ignorant when you don't use that language. There cannot be many left. That's amazing. Good for you. In Maine, was pretty rusted out, wasn't it?
No, it's like there's still plastic on the back seat belts and everything. It was in great condition.
Wow, that means somebody super, super anal bought that car. That's a really weird thing to imagine. Well, anyway, I'd hook up with her. At some point, when it was like questionable as to what Cass's car was going to be, or maybe he had, I don't know, there was a point in which I thought, oh, this is a great opportunity. They should put him in like a smart car or something, like some tiny, shitty little three-wheeled, you know, rickshaw. Like the boys like roll up in the Impala, like boom, and then the Cass. Let's go get him, boys. That would be kind of great.
That would be
With
great.
a pitmobile that we use on the show, by the way, has been a boon to the guy who rents that. It's a rental. We rent it from this guy who happened to have that pitmobile. And he rented it to us thinking like, oh, you know, we thought, I think, we'll only use it once, so we'll pay him well, it's a nice car. And now I think he may be retired off of just renting the pitmobile to us. And the pitmobile has these hydraulics on it, which I don't, as you know, character choice as Castiel, I don't often, you know, show off the hydraulics on the pitmobile. But the thing like has that jacked up suspension and can do the bouncing thing, like the low rider bouncing thing. And Jared and I were sitting in the pitmobile one day, and you know how Jared can be. The car was just like bouncing all over the place, and the picture car person, so there's a person whose whole job is just to like make sure that Jared doesn't do stuff like that on, and he came running in like, no, almost threw himself on the car like, don't do this. And anyway, that little like just fucking around with the car cost the production like $10,000 to replace the suspension. So, there. Hi.
Hello, Misha.
Hello.
I'm wondering, since you joined the show Supernatural, did you ever imagine yourself being such an inspiration to people all across the world?
Oh yeah, totally. I don't feel comfortable right now, and I don't know how to answer that question. I will say thank you. That is a very kind thing to say, and I don't know what you're talking about, and thank you very much. Hi.
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 3 months ago in Vegas, I talked to you about being a single mom and my son Landon, who loves you and couldn't meet you. And this.
Hi, Landon. Good to see you.
Hi.
Hi. You have an amazing shock of hair.
Why, thank you.
See, I should take a page from that guy. That's how to take a compliment.
So Landon's question for you.
Yes, Landon.
Who's your favorite singer?
No.
Who's my favorite singer?
What he wants to know is,
who's your favorite musician?
That died. If you could bring back a musician that died, who would it be and what song would you request?
Okay, so not Justin Bieber. Okay.
Bill? He said no.
That died?
Yeah, a musician that's
Landon,
died.
that's so morbid. You know what? I feel like Landon asked a very innocent question, and you turned it. You made it morbid. Don't let your mother do that to you, Landon.
Is that my fault? Did I screw up?
Do you have a favorite deceased musician?
Do you love any musicians that have died?
Someone who kicked the bucket? Someone who's dead as a doorknob? Who croaked?
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson? Oh. That's a great choice. You know, in our house, we listen to a tremendous amount of Michael Jackson. And actually, like, old Michael Jackson, like Jackson 5 Michael Jackson.
You know the song Thriller?
Yeah, do I know the song Thriller?
I love it.
What?
Love it.
You love it? You know what? My son, West, loves Michael Jackson too. And if even an obscure song, if there is such a thing, of Michael Jackson starts to play, he immediately can identify it. I think you have great taste, young man. I also do. I'm sad to have lost Prince.
So what Prince song would you request if you could have a concert now?
Right now, probably Purple Rain. I'm very sentimental about Purple Rain. All right, it's really great to meet you finally. I've been waiting all this time.
Nice to meet you, too.
All right. Bye. Hi.
Hi, Misha.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I forgot my question.
Your head was moving, so I thought you were talking and the mic had just gone out. And you were just like... You look like my mom when there were 2 Dariuses. I don't know what's happening. It's okay if you don't remember your question. There's absolutely no pressure. Here's a little tip. I don't know what your question was, so you could make up a new one and pretend that that's what you were going to ask. And I would never know the difference.
Okay. Did you have fun playing him and Cass?
Did I have fun lately?
No, when you had to play Castiel as human, was that fun?
Oh, when Cass was human? I did have fun with that. Yes. I liked eating toothpaste, trying to comfort a crying infant, all of the perks of peanut butter and jelly,
Urinating.
living like a homeless person. Bees? Are you saying bees? I think you're saying bees, and you're confusing your storylines. Okay, great talk. Hi.
Hi. I just want to let you know I think that you and Vicky are an awesome combo, especially when you wrote TSA. And in an ideal world, I wish you guys would write an episode. But if that doesn't happen, and you guys can make something like that again, do you think you guys and Danielle could talk Jensen into joining you next time?
Talk Jensen into doing something like we did something like the TSA video that Danielle was in. How many of you?
Since he said he likes comedy so much more, so.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the TSA America videos? Those of you who have not, you should probably check out. I can't remember the name of that. Suspicious Bulges was the episode. That stars Jensen's wife. She was actually pregnant at that time, but we needed her to look more pregnant for the role, so we put by the way, super hard to find, a prosthetic that goes over a pregnant belly to make someone look more pregnant. There's not a high demand for that at prop houses. So anyway, yeah, if you haven't seen that, I do recommend checking it out because it does sort of depict Danielle in a light that you probably haven't otherwise seen. And the answer to your question is yes. It would be great to have Jensen, yes.
And hopefully
I'm not sure what we could do with him. I'm trying to, in the context of Suspicious Bulges, I'm not sure how that would work, but
and
great.
Super quick, I
Yes.
just wanted to give you met my daughter in Vegas one year, and she's kind of in love with Wes because they're the same age.
Yep.
She does not understand why she can't play date with him, but she made him a little Valentine.
A Valentine Day for West?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
They're the same age.
They're the same age.
Now,
He's kind of mostly into older women, but okay.
So she wrote her name on here, so it was very clear it was from her.
Oh yeah, Claire.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And then there's something else here you should read later about her. Yeah. But
Okay.
anyway, she made that for him special.
Okay, thank
For
you
me to
very
bring
much.
it.
Thank you. Man.